In this video, I'll be teaching you how to add a large brim to any of your pre-made hats. So I'm going to be adding a brim to this hat here. So I'm going to be using the same needle size and yarn that I used to make this hat. In addition to your yarn and needles, you will also be needing 2 stitch markers and a sewing needle. So you want to go ahead and go at the cast on edge of your hat. And we're going to be picking up our cast on stitches for our brim stitches. So you want to put your needle in any stitch along the cast on edge of your hat. Take your yarn and put a small tail on the inside. And we're going to be picking up stitches along our cast on edge. So you want to insert your needle through a stitch, wrap as if you're knitting, and pull the loop through to the front. So now we're going to do that along our edge here, and we're going to pick up 16 stitches. So just go into your next set of stitches, pull up a loop. If there is a distinguishing mark in your hat's pattern, make sure you center the brim on your hat so that it is evenly spaced with your pattern. So this is what it'll look like once you have all your stitches picked up. And we're going to be turning our work. We're working this flat. And we're going to purl across all our stitches. We're going to knit 2. Then we're going to do a make 1 increase. So you can do that any way that you like, but a make 1 increase is where you take the horizontal bar in between your 2 stitches, pick it up on your left needle, and knit through the back loop with your right needle. After that, we're going to place one of our markers, and we're going to knit 12 stitches. Then you want to place your second marker and knit your final 2 stitches. And then we're going to be picking up a stitch from our cast on edge. So right next to our stitch we just worked, we're going to go in the cast on edge, wrap like to knit, and pull up a loop. So for row 4, we're just going to purl across all our stitches. And when we make it to the other side, we're going to pick up a stitch on our cast on edge as we just did before. So just purl across all your stitches. When you make it to the other side, you're going to go through your cast on edge from back to front. So you want to take your needle from the front of your hat towards you to the back, wrap as if you're purling, and pull up a loop. For row 5, you're going to knit to your first marker. Then we're going to make a stitch. So pick up that horizontal bar and then knit through the back loop. Then you're going to pass the slip marker over. And we're going to knit our center 12 stitches. Slip the stitch marker. We're going to make a stitch, so pick up that bar, knit through the back loop. Then we're going to knit our final 3 stitches. And now we're going to pick up 2 stitches from our cast on row. So just go to the next stitch in our cast on, wrap as if to knit, pull up a stitch. Do that one more time, move to the next stitch, wrap, and pull up a loop. Then you want to turn your work, and for row 6, we're going to purl across all our stitches, and when we make it to the other side, we're going to pick up 2 cast on stitches. So when you've purled across all your stitches, you're going to go down to your cast on row, and we're going to pick up 2 stitches purlwise. So you want to go from back to front, so come towards you, wrap and pull through as if you're purling. Got 1 stitch, and we're going to do it one more time. So from back to front, go in through the cast on stitch, wrap, and pull up. And now we're going to repeat row 5 and 6 until our brim measures 2 inches. So once you have your 2 inches from the center of your brim, now we're going to do a purl row to create the turning point. We're going to be knitting the other side of the brim, and we're going to put a purl row right here that'll help us fold it over, and it'll lay nicer. So you'll be on the right side of your work, and we're going to do a purl row. So we're just going to purl all our stitches all the way across. So once you've worked your purl row across, you'll see the bumps on the right side of your work. So now we're going to turn our work for the wrong side of it, and we're going to start this row by binding off the first 2 stitches. But instead of working the first stitch, we're just going to slip it. So because we're on a purl row, we're going to slip it purlwise, and then we're going to purl our second stitch, and then we're going to pull that first stitch over and off so we can bind off, purl 1 more stitch, and then bind off our second stitch. And then we're just going to purl to the end of our row. Then our next row, we're going to bind off the first 2 stitches, and like before, we're going to slip the first one knitwise because we're on a knit row, knit our second stitch, pass that first stitch over and off, knit 1 more stitch, and bind off our second stitch. And now we're going to knit to 2 stitches before our stitch marker. And then we're going to do a slip knit. So we're going to slip both our stitches like this, insert our left needle, and knit our stitches together. Then we're going to pass our stitch marker and knit our 12 center stitches. We're going to pass our stitch marker, and we're going to knit 2 together and knit to the end of our row. Now we're just going to repeat our last 2 rows until we only have the stitches we started with. So until we're down to our 16 stitches, we're just going to keep repeating the last 2 rows. So once you're down to your remaining stitches, then you're just going to bind off all your stitches. Once you've bound off all your stitches, when you go to cut your yarn, leave a little bit of length because we're going to be folding this over and sewing it. So you want to go ahead and thread the end of your yarn onto your needle, and where we did that purl row on the right side is going to be our fold line. So you just take your brim and fold it over. Then we're going to turn our hat so that we're looking onto the inside of our hat, and you see how it just lays all on its own. You're going to tack your cast off edge to where you picked up your stitches off the cast on of your hat. And if you want it sturdier, you can put some cardboard in there to make your brim a lot stronger. But you're just going to tack down your brim. And that's how you add a brim to your existing hat. You can check out this video of another size demonstrated for the brim. All sizes and instructions are listed down below. And if you would like to know what hat I was working on in this video, it's my Wreck-It Ralph inspired hat that recently went up. You can click here to view it or click the link in the description box. I hope you guys like this. If you do, please thumbs it up. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.